Oh, Harry. It just, as per usual, this man does not know when to just keep quiet and let things just die down. He's put out another statement, and this is obviously surrounding the investigation that was done into the Centre Barley situation. So we're going to uncover what is really going on. I'm going to talk about why I believe Harry is angry, and I don't think it's what we're being told in the mainstream media. So I use my over 20 years experience as a UK therapist. My name is Ems, and this is the channel where I try to get into the truth of a situation. I don't just look at what's being said, I read between the lines of what's not being said, understanding body language and behaviour. So along with the professional and personal, because this has been a passion of mine for many years, I like to try and uncover the truth. So if you want to join me on this quest to find the truth and not just what we're being told, then this could be the channel for you. So don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and help me achieve my goal of getting the 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Don't forget to like the video, and also don't forget to click all on the notification bell so you do not miss future uploads. If you are still here, then welcome. Go grab yourself a cuppa, sit back, relax as we get into some tea with a little bit of therapeutic knowledge. So hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I hope you had a rested, wonderful weekend, whatever you were up to. So yes, so Harry just, he just doesn't know when to just stop talking, does he? And isn't it always funny how whenever it's something about him, he's okay to put a statement out, but when it's anything else, he's quiet. You know, if there's anything else that's going on in the world, like, I don't know, the Barker people and the atrocities there, because I will keep mentioning those people because he has completely sidelined them, and the little girl that he promised to look after, nothing. But of course, we've come out now with Harry's source. Harry has made a statement stating that he is absolutely appalled, even though there's no wrongdoing, according to Harry. But let's break that down. So the investigation by the Charity Commission has stated that there is no widespread. So it's not a collective in a sense. It is not their job to investigate personal issues in regards to, so any issues personally, like the one from Dr. Sophie and any other members that have come forward to state that there is misogyny, misogynoir, bullying, etc., whatever it is that's been going on within the company, that's not their job. Their job is to showcase if there's any wrongdoings in the collective of the widespread community of the charity. And they've obviously stated that what they have said is that it's appalling. So he's reprimanded both of them, which you'd think that would be it. But no, not Harry. No, he decides that a statement needs to be put out, that he's disappointed, and he feels that because Dr. Sophie was not removed, and that's what this is really about, right? So I think that he genuinely thought that, which is why he welcomed the investigation, because probably deep down he knew that they wouldn't be able to investigate individual cases of bullying, etc. He probably thought that they were going to side with him. A bit like in the court case, where he probably felt that he was going to win the court case because of who he is. And this is what Harry does. I think Harry believed that because of being a prince of the UK, and I think that he thought his father would step in, which is why he's angry at his dad again, that his father would step in and be like, you know what, we need to put Harry back in place of this charity. Well, they haven't. And Dr. Sophie has been kept on. Good, I'm glad. So Harry basically is out. And so, of course, he's not happy about this. And so even though he's been wrapped over the knuckles for coming out publicly and airing this out in the media, because we know that Harry loves to do that, even though Harry is dead against the mainstream media when it suits him, but he's very much for it when it comes to using it for his own purposes. So, of course, he's come out and he's not happy. But initially, he's like, well, see, I told everybody that I wasn't a bully and nobody believed me, but but of course then the Centre Barley has come out and said, well, actually, that's not their job. But And I think it's almost like a veil. If you're not careful, there will be some investigating going on. We have the means to investigate individual cases and finding out what's going on. So be quiet, Harry. But he just can't. He cannot resist having his say. It's like this, I've got to have the last word. Instead of just going, you know what, let's just leave this where it is. But what angers me the most in regards to Harry is this constant need to use his mother. If anyone has tarnished his mother's life's work, not his mother's, because this whole thing of like, this is like a hostile takeover, this is my mother's life's work. So how many times did you visit after marrying Meghan, Harry? How many times did you visit? Visit? I'm just making up my own words because why not? How many times did you visit Lesotho? And I think I've got it right this time. Is it Lesotho? Oh God, done it again. Lesotho. I think it's Lesotho. Since when you married Meghan, was it once, twice at the most? So that's in. I don't know. Let's look. 2018, 2025. 7 years, and you visited twice, maybe at the most. Yeah. Don't think you're that interested, really. But what you are interested in, Harry, is a little paycheck that you were probably getting from being part of this charity. So that is what I think Harry is missing. When Harry decides to throw his toys out of the pram because somebody actually goes up against him, which is what this is. Harry doesn't like being told no. Harry doesn't like being told that he's not the be all and end all of the entire universe. And so I think when this strong woman went up against him and started calling him out for things, he thought that he was going to get backed because of who he is. But now he's realizing actually that the doors are shut. The palace are no longer actually taking his calls and stepping in to wipe Harry's bottom and sorting it all out for him, which is unfortunately what they used to do. And this is why we are here. We are here because Harry is a spoilt man-child who's never grown up, who thinks he can get away with whatever it is that he thinks he can get away with, and has done so for a long time. The royal family have picked up the pieces, they have wiped his bottom, they have sort of patted him on the back and said, off you go, Harry, let's make it all better for you. You know, let's stick you in the military, but we won't actually let you do any work or let you actually be at any risk. But we'll do that because on paper it looks good. Because we want to keep you busy because you're going off the rails and partying in Vegas and doing crazy stuff. Yeah, let's give you Invictus because, well, you know what? Let's try and keep you busy because you're going off the rails and you're doing crazy stuff. So let's do all those things to make it all better for you, Harry. And there he is where he's just not happy with anything. And all he does is use the people that he's supposed to care about to pocket. That's to me, that's literally it. He uses them to pocket his finances, like Murchywell. Murchywell is literally a means to pocket money. And what angers me the most is that this is being allowed to happen. How are two people, one of them a semi-royal and the other, well, she is who she is, how are they allowed to set up a foundation which allows them to have money donated, but they can keep 95% of it? How is that allowed to happen? How is that? Because the only reason that they get money is because of their connection to the royal family. So in a way, if you look at that, it's utilising being a royal family to get money for yourself. How is that allowed? Now, I understand setting up a charity, a non-profit charity. If you want to set up something, and the royals do this all the time, they support and they help charities, they set up things that are absolutely non-profit, that they don't benefit from financially. I get that. If they had set up Murchywell as a non-profit that all donations go towards good causes, fair play. But they haven't. Not only that, they've set it up in Delaware. So how are they allowed to do that? How is there not some governance that states that people that people, especially when they're royals, allowed to do that. And not only that, they're still holding the royal titles. Now, if they'd have wanted to go across to California and just be Harry and Meghan, then okay, fine. I still think it would be shady, but okay, fine. They're Harry and Meghan. They've set up an organisation, and that is what it is. I get that. You know, they still have to pay people to fund that, etc., etc. Fair enough. Don't know if I still like it, but there it is. But they're not. They're doing it under the Sussex titles, and they're doing it under the royal umbrella, and that is what angers me the most. Her products that she's selling are under, you know, when you look at the fact that she's given herself this crest. So in a sense, trying to utilise the royal brand, she's using HRH privately, of course, because we all would do that to our friends. You know, you know, at the end of the day, it's usually the other way around. And this is why, how you can tell that she is so pretentious, because usually if you have a status, like say you were actually a working member of the royal family, and so in state events, on official events, you know, you are HRH, you know, the royal title. But behind the scenes, like what we've seen with Catherine and William, it's whenever they do anything, it's like, oh, I'm William, I'm Catherine. I'm not, we are the Prince and Princess of Wales when they're doing some Zoom call with somebody. But with Harry and Meghan, it's the other way round. It's like they are refusing to, the titles are not being meant to be used publicly, but they are using them. And then they're also doing it by, I mean, who sends somebody something as a private thing and just signed by Your Royal Highness, the Prince and Princess of Sussex? Who does that? Who? That'd be like me having, I don't know, a title. And when my friends come round, I'm like, you can address me as Lady So-and-so, or you can address me as Your Royal Highness to my friends. They would be like, yeah, you know what you can do with that? You can shove that where the sun doesn't shine. You pretentious idiots. So, which is quite rightly so. But yeah, so I think that this is what I mean with Harry. It's like he has coasted so long in who he is and got away with things because of who he is, that now he's starting to realise that actually that doesn't hold any weight anymore. Nobody actually cares. Nobody is going, oh my gosh, he's a prince, we need to just not say anything. And so this is what's happening, and he doesn't like it. He doesn't like the fact that he is being told no. He doesn't like the fact that he is being shut down and he is not being given the security. He has not been given his place back on this charity that is supposedly his life's work. What life's work? What have you actually done for this charity? What have you actually done for Centre Parks? Centre Park? Centre Parks? What the heck? Oh my God, Centre Parks. Yeah, what has he done for Centre Parks? Oh God, my brain, honestly. Yeah, if anyone doesn't know, Centre Parks is a holiday resort over here and in Europe. So yeah, what has Harry done for Centre Parks? African parks. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. It is what it is. Yeah, so I've lost my train of thought now. I sort of crack myself up, I'm sorry. Oh dear. Yes. So what has he actually done? What has he actually done? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to have a giggly fit. Excuse me one second. I'm going to have to come back. Just found that too funny. Hang on one second. I had to compose myself because I actually found that that tickled me. I could feel myself going into a bit of a laughing fit, and you know, you start crying. It's like I could feel it happening, so I had to just come off. I don't know why I found that really funny, but I have. So yeah, so I think that this is what I mean. It's like he's done absolutely nothing for any of the charities that he's part of. Even Invictus, he's using. So speaking of Invictus, yes, so of course I've seen rumours that apparently David Beckham is meant to be taking over Invictus. I think this is another Mike Tyndall moment where we had those things coming out in regards to Mike Tyndall taking over. Now, obviously, I don't know for sure, but there's been nothing credible that's come out. And I don't know if I mean, I like David Beckham, but I don't think he'd be a good fit for Invictus. I think we do need somebody that's I don't know, maybe it's got a military background, or at least connected to the royal family, which Mike Tyndall would be, or someone that's got a military background. And I just think, as much as David Beckham is sporty, obviously he's been in football, I just don't know if I think that he would be the right fit. And I don't think he would take it over, because it would almost look, especially given the history behind Victoria, David and Harry and Meghan, I think it would look in the eyes of the media and the public potentially like it almost like it's a bit of a petty move, considering that they don't like each other. So I think this is being put out as clickbait again, and unfortunately there is a lot of this now. Like I say, I don't know. It could be happening. I don't know, behind the scenes, but I don't know if I see David taking that over. I mean, he's incredibly busy, so I don't know if that's. I think that I would see him doing that, especially given the attachment to the two not being friends. And in all fairness, all Harry is really is just the face of it. He's not actually, he doesn't really do anything apart from he's having, aside from the fact that it wasn't even his idea. It was somebody else's, I think it was his assistant or somebody he was with at the time when they were watching Warrior games. And so they pitched it. And obviously then the royal family, the MOD, I think the Prime Minister at the time, Boris Johnson, set it all up. So he's just kind of almost like the face to it, in a sense, the royal connection. But as I've said before, he's hurting it. He's hurting Invictus because of her. So as well, if he'd have left her out of it and just solely been about him, and he'd focused on the veterans, then that would have been beneficial, but he doesn't. It's turned into the Harry and Meghan show, and it's all about those two. It's not about the veterans that are involved. So I think he's now hurting Invictus, and so I think that removing him from it would be beneficial. I think anyone that has a charity that he's connected to should remove him. I really do, because to me, he doesn't bring anything good anymore. He may have done at one time, but he doesn't now. He doesn't bring anything good. And the only thing that he's interested in is the money and the PR that he gets from it. That's the only thing. And deep down, they must know this. They must know that he's only using them for his own means. And that's what I think he's done with this. Oh, I've invited my family to the 2027 Invictus, knowing full well that William especially and Catherine are not going to go, because William hates Harry. And also his father's ill health might mean, and I don't like saying this, but he might not even be here 2027. So that's insensitive within itself. If you had a family member that was very ill and, you just don't know, you wouldn't be kind of going, oh yeah, well in the next, in 2 years time, I want you to come to this, especially given what is kind of going on behind the scenes. You just wouldn't. But of course Harry does, because it's all about PR. It's all about, look, see, no, I did, and if it's, goodness, I hope it doesn't, but if something happens and his dad does pass away, he'll just be like, well, I did try, I did invite him, so I was trying to make the effort. And that's what I mean. That's exactly what he does. It's all about PR. And when you strip that back, this is a very angry man, a man that's very bitter about what's happened within the family that he's caused. I think that he hates the fact that he's shut out. He hates the fact that no one takes him seriously. He hates the fact that he is being told no. He hates the fact that he does not have the pull or the sway that he probably did when he was a working royal, where people looked up to him maybe. He hates the fact that he has lost pretty much everything. And what has he become? A bum. That's it. He surfs. He does the odd thing. This is what this 40-year-old man is doing. He has never worked a day in his life. He's had everything done for him. And this is the result. And he coasts on his mother's legacy. She would be honestly turning in her grave. She would be turning in her grave to see. I mean, she probably actually wouldn't be surprised, in all fairness, but she would be in the way he's behaved. But that's literally what he is. He's a surf bum now. He literally does nothing but surfs. Just a quick interval just to remind you all to please hit that like button, and also subscribe if you haven't already, to help me get my 100,000 subscriber plaque by the end of this year. Don't forget to hit all on the notification bell so you do not miss future uploads. For those of you who email and want to know how you can support in extra ways, please look at all the links below in the video of every single one that I do, because there is an email, a PO box. You can treat me to a cuppa, which is a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. There is the Amazon wish list. There's a bubble merchandise. There's the super chat, becoming a member, the coffee member. There's lots of ways to support if you so choose. But if none of those are okay for you, and that's absolutely fine, because I always say, please look after yourself first and foremost. All I ask is that you please watch the video to the end, or at least watch and some of it and then fast forward to the end, because it counts as a view, and share to get this message across, that we can keep exposing the truth of what is really going on in the world. And that is the most important thing to me. So please, if you are in financial hardship or anything like that, regardless of what is going on, please always look after yourself first. So that being said, I thank you so much for all of your support and everything else. And now back to the main video. And speaking of, I'm just going to segue this, because I meant to mention this, and it's thank you to one of my lovely friends who said this to me, and so thank you, because you reminded me, because my brain just didn't remember. So this is for you. She reminded me that there was a tsunami warning in California around the time that this was all coming out, in regards to them surfing with the alleged boy, and the beaches were closed. There was a red line. If you Googled California, I believe there was a red line, which meant that all beaches were closed. So remind me again, how did they manage to do a surfing lesson or do surfing when the beaches were closed, when there were tsunami warnings up and down the coast? And I meant to add that in, completely forgot, and thankfully my friend mentioned it and reminded me. So yes, I'm just going to add that in. So I think that all of these things just add up to the fact that these two are nothing but liars. They lie about absolutely everything. And the reason they can lie is because they get away with it. Until the mainstream media start calling them out like we do, they're going to continue. She is going to continue to lie about her As Ever brand. And the reason is because she's still connected to the royal family. The way to, in a sense, for her to stop is take her off. Get rid of her in from the royal family. Take her off the royal family website. Take away the titles, take away her ability to merch from the royal family. Harry will always be, unfortunately, connected to the royal family because he is a prince of the royal family. He's a UK prince, unfortunately. We're stuck with him to some degree. Her, not so much. When celebrities post on their Instagram, it's not front page news. It doesn't get in the news. People don't care. You know, the only people that care are their fan base. The only reason that they get talked about is because of the connection to the royal family. Remove her, and then she can sell whatever she likes and no one will care. She won't be on the royal pages of the Daily Mail, the Daily Mirror, whatever it is. No one will care, because she will be no longer really connected. And she will just dwindle into nothingness, because people are not that interested in her. But the only thing is, because she's connected to the royal family, and because we are waiting for the downfall, because we want that to happen. And not just because we're horrible people, it's because we're good people and we see what she's doing. We see what Harry is doing. We want the truth exposed. And I do think that when William becomes king, I think there's going to be transparency. I have a feeling, I'm seeing it more and more, that he is removing the children from the royal website. I think he's removing them from removing the titles, removing them from the line of succession. I would also imagine that there's possibly going to happen with Harry and Meghan. Something's going to happen. I do think that there will possibly be something for Harry, because I don't think that they're just going to leave him into obscurity, but they'll give him sort of the Earl of whatever, they'll let him keep the Earl of Dumbarton or whatever it is. But I think that the Sussex titles will go, and I do think that she will be removed from any connection. I think that is possibly, I mean, like I said, I think the divorce will happen, but it will happen when either she's got the right settlement that she wants, or the royal family are going to kind of go, okay, well, we'll agree to the divorce, but you've got to do this. All the time that she threats her memoir, like, I'm going to write a book, I think that's something that they're going to need to put in place. But anyway, that's a different story for another day. But yeah, so in the next video, I'm actually contemplating whether to explore the connection between August and Archie. I have thought about this for some time, and I actually have mentioned it on my videos. And I had an email from a lovely subscriber who sent me some photographs, and the likeness. And I've often thought this, but these, seeing these photographs, like literally in the way that they were sent, the likeness is incredibly uncanny. Especially given that the red hair, blue eyes is a recessive gene. And so one child, okay, that can happen. I know it can happen, but two, and the fact that likeness is remarkable, they are literally like the same person. So I have thought about doing a video on this. So let me know if that's something that you would like me to do. I want to try and do it as carefully as possible, because I do appreciate that we are dealing with children. However, when they are royal children and we believe that there is a lie that's occurring, I think all bets are off. I'm always going to be of the mindset that there is a lie occurring. I do think it's important that we get to the truth. And I think I'm probably the best person to do this in the most tentative way, given my background, and trying to be as diplomatic as possible. But the bottom line is, there is a lie that's happening, and these people, these adults that are in charge of these children, are allowing that lie to happen, and for all intents and purposes are allowing children to be used as pawns in this, whatever this is going on. So yeah, I would like to explore that a little bit. So let me know if that's something that you'd be interested in. And also anything else that you are interested in, that you want to understand the psychology behind it, drop in the comments, please. I don't just want to discuss always Harry and Meghan, but if there are things about Harry and Meghan that you want me to delve into a little bit more, if you want me to do more reaction videos, whatever it is, I'm asking you guys for your advice and support, to keep this channel going. What do you want from me? That's important to me. So I think that's kind of it, really. Just quickly, the names going across the bottom are the membership names, because I think a few people have queried that they don't understand what the names are. They're the member names. Now, I appreciate that not everyone is liking this, but I have tried every which way to showcase the members, because that is important to me. You're all important, but I think people surely can appreciate that when people sign up as a member, they get a little something. And one of them was being showcased on the channel. Now, I tried putting the names at the front, didn't work. Tried putting the names at the back, didn't work. So this was the way I thought, if I have them running along the bottom, that's okay. Now, I appreciate that it's squiggly. That is something I will look into. So it's just straight, it's not squiggly. For some reason, the app that I use to edit won't give me the option to make it straight going across. So I will look into that and change that, because I understand that's annoying people. But as I've always said, if you guys can think of a better option for me, then please let me know in the comments, because I'm always open to suggestions. I always try to give back as much as I can, and have this channel as accessible and as watchable for you guys. It's not just about me, it is also about you. But trying to keep everyone happy is not easy, in fact impossible. So I have to go with the majority. But yeah, so let me know what you think in the comments. Anything, I'm like I say, open to everything. And thank you as always for your support. yeah, you are all amazing to me. So, and as you know, I love you, I appreciate you, but most of all, I respect you. Take care. Bye bye.